I am Aruna Punna, working as Junior Lecturer in Botany, Government Junior College for Girls, Bongir. Today our topic is microbes in human welfare. In this class, we are going to learn about microbes in sewage treatment, microbes in production of biogas, structure of biogas plant, microbes as biocontrol agent. Microbes which are useful in the sewage treatment. What is sewage? Generally, we use lot of water to maintain hygiene by using washrooms, by cleaning cloths, by cleaning utensils, and by cooking. Lot of water enters into the drainage system, and rainwater also enters into the drainage. So this waste municipal water called as sewage. In the sewage, what is the large amount is human excreta. So this sewage contains large amount of organic matter and microbes which cause so many diseases. So that is why this sewage directly we could not discharge into the natural water bodies like rivers. Before disposal, compulsory sewage must be treated in sewage treatment plants to make less polluting. That means we have to remove the organic matter and disease causing microorganisms from the sewage by treating in sewage treatment plants. So this sewage treatment completed by following two stages. First is primary treatment and second is secondary treatment, or other name is biological treatment, because in the secondary treatment microorganisms are used. In the primary treatment, in this treatment only we can remove the floating particles and deposited particles, sand and pebbles, gravel like structure. In the primary treatment, two steps are there mainly, filtration and sedimentation. Here what happens we'll see. This is sewage treatment plant diagrammatic presentation. Up to here, this is primary treatment. Then the next one, this is secondary treatment. One by one, I will explain. Through this pipe, raw sewage is coming and passes through some filters. These filters separate floating debris. So by filtration, floating debris is removed from raw sewage. Then after filtration, this sewage passes through some grinders. These grinders completely mash the organic matter and crush some small pebbles and stones like, and finally this sewage passes through this pipe and enters into settling tank. Here, for some time, the sewage settled. What happens? The sand and stone particles deposited at the base. So, the small pebbles and sand particles called grit. This is removed from this, and the remain liquid sewage passed through this pipe and entered into other settling tank. So, here also sometime the sewage settle. At the time any solid particles are present, these solid particles also deposited at the base. That is called primary sludge. This primary sludge passes through this pipe and enters into anaerobic sludge digester. I will explain about anaerobic sludge digester here. Then after removing the solids, primary sludge, the supernatant one called primary effluent, this passes through the pipe and enters into aeration tank. From here onwards, we have to call it as secondary treatment. Okay, I completed primary treatment, that is done by two processes, filtration and sedimentation. By filtration, only floating debris separated. By sedimentation, sand and stones separated called grit. And after that, the solids deposited at the base, that is primary sludge, enters into anaerobic sludge digester, and the remain effluent, the primary effluent, now it is entering into secondary treatment into a aeration tank. This aeration tank is continuously mechanically moved. To this aeration tank, continuously air is also pumped by the air compressor. So, in this aeration tank, a lot of air is present. That is why aerobic bacteria can grow large in number. So these aerobic bacteria grow vigorously and form flocks. These aerobic bacteria completely digest the organic matter which is present in the primary effluent. So here organic matter is completely digested by the aerobic bacteria by using oxygen. Oxygen, where is oxygen? In the air. Air is continuously pumping by this air compressor. So that is why here finally BOD, biological oxygen demand, is reduced. Here biological means aerobic bacteria. Oxygen means by using oxygen, the bacteria completely using the organic matter. So whenever completely organic matter is decomposed, the bacteria won't need the oxygen. So automatically biological oxygen demand reduces. Then only this treatment stop. Then after reducing of this biological oxygen demand, what happens? The organic matter is completely decomposed and it is very cleared. Then this water passes through this pipe and again reach another settling tank. Here what happens? In the aeration tank, the aerobic bacteria grown in flocks. So these flocks, aerobic bacteria flocks, again here settle down and passes through this pipe. The flocks of bacteria called activated sludge. The remain effluent. So it is very clear. It is not having any bacterial flocks. This remain liquid sewage water by adding some disinfected. If it may have any disease causing microorganisms killed by adding this disinfectant, and finally this water discharged into river water. Then this activated sludge again passes through this pipe. Only little amount of activated sludge again by this return sludge pump by this machine again enters into this pipe and mingle with primary effluent, because the liquid after reducing BOD, all bacteria enter into this tank. So here no bacteria. So that is why we have to add again the aerobic bacteria to the primary effluent for the next procedure as inoculum. Only little amount only added to this one. The remain major part of activated sludge passes through this pipe and here mingle with the primary sludge. Primary sludge means the solids are deposited at the base here. So primary sludge and activated sludge both are mingled here and enter into the anaerobic sludge digester. So anaerobic sludge digester I will explain in the next diagram. This is anaerobic sludge digester. So that primary sludge and activated sludge enters into this anaerobic sludge digester by this inlet. So here what happens? This primary sludge and activated sludge, these both are completely digested by the anaerobic bacteria. So here you have seen aerobic bacteria only. Here only aerobic bacteria which can act in the presence of oxygen. But here the bacteria only in the absence of oxygen only they survive. So in the absence of oxygen, anaerobic bacteria completely digest the activated sludge and primary sludge. By this activity, so many harmful bacteria and fungi completely digested, and finally biogas is produced. This biogas released out. This is also connected to a pipe and this is stored and connected to some nearby houses are sealed in some gas cylinders, and after completing the digestion process, the liquid passes through this pipe and releases into natural water bodies like rivers. In the biogas, main is methane is present and CO2 is present and H2 is some moisture. Due to increasing of urbanization and industrialization, large quantities of sewage is day by day increasing than ever before. So that is why we have to treat all these increasing sewage by using sewage treatment plants. So here sewage is only increasing, but according to the sewage quantity, sewage treatment plants are not increasing enough. That is why sometimes an untreated sewage also discharged directly into the river. That condition leads to river water pollution, and when we swim in that river water, that contaminated water enters into our mouth and enters into our digestive system, and we may suffer from waterborne diseases. The diseases come from contaminated water, and some animals also swim in the water, so those animals also infected by these waterborne diseases. And in India, government, the Ministry of Environment and Forest established two plans, that is Ganga Action Plan and Yamuna Action Plan. Ganga and Yamuna are the major rivers in our country. So to save the rivers from pollution, these plans are established. The main aim of these plans is to build more number of sewage treatment plants. So this plan is going on, and somewhat purification done in those rivers. And bioremediation, what is this? By this process, we can remove toxic substances. Those are accidentally released into the environment. Recently in Andhra Pradesh, we have all listened about from one industry, accidentally some toxic substances released into the atmosphere and so many people become sick. So at that time, government immediately followed this bioremediation method. So in this process, some special microorganisms released into the atmosphere. So these microorganisms completely eat the contaminants as a food to get energy. So the all contaminants, all pollution, all toxic substances released into the air, which are used by these microorganisms. In this way, the contaminants completely reduced and the atmosphere become very healthy. And this is production of biogas. In the production of biogas, the structure of biogas plant and what type of microorganisms used in this we will discuss. Here biogas means it is a mixture of gas. In this, what are the gases are present means mainly methane is present. Main gas is methane, carbon dioxide, H2S and moisture is also. Generally, already we have learned about fermentation process. In the fermentation of dough, cheese making and production of beverages, the main gas is CO2. But in biogas, the main gas is methane. This biogas is produced by methanogens. It's a group of bacteria, methanogens. So many bacteria comes under methanogens. Here one example for methanogens is methanobacterium. This bacteria grow anaerobically on cellulosic material, means buffalo or cow dung, and produce biogas finally. This anaerobic bacteria, this methanobacteria, methanogens are present in the anaerobic sludge digesters and produce biogas. And so commonly these anaerobic methanogen bacteria is present in the sewage treatment plant and in the anaerobic sludge digester and even present in the rumen of cattle. Rumen means it is the name of the part of stomach, because cattle generally eat cellulosic food, raw grass. In the raw grass, cellulose is present. So in the digestion process, these methanogens are very useful. But in our stomach, these methanogens are not present because we want to eat raw grass. So that is why there is no use of these methanogens in our stomach. Cattle rumen only have these methanogen bacteria. And now you can see the structure of biogas plant. In underground, below the earth level, we have to dig a large pit. The pit size may be 14 to 15 feet. So this pit is connected to two chambers. Through this chamber, we have to add bio waste, dung and water. So in this tank, you have to mix three: bio waste, dung and water, and make gravy like, that is slurry. And this slurry passes through this pipe and enters into the main digester, main tank. So in this tank, anaerobic bacteria methanogens are present. All the methanogens digest this bio waste, dung and produce methane gas. So here at the top, we have to keep loose lid. This is not fixed tightly. This is loosely fixed because as the biogas is producing, then at the same time, this lid somewhat can move towards upside. Then the released gas passes through this pipe and this is connected to a pipe and supplied to the nearby houses. This gas used for cooking purpose. And here the fresh slurry is generally present at the base. Already completely digested slurry moved up to upside. So the completely digested slurry passes through this pipe and enters into this sludge chamber. So we can remove this sludge and used as a fertilizer for crop production. Generally these biogas plants are established, constructed in the village areas, because in the village areas dung is mostly available. And the biogas production and construction of those plants developed by Indian Agricultural Research Institute and Khadi Village Industries Commission. Microbes as biocontrol agents. That means by using microorganisms, we can kill different organisms which are attacking the crop. Sometimes crops are attacked by some plant diseases, insects and pests. To stop these plant diseases and to kill insects and pests, we have to apply some chemicals, insecticides and pesticides. Insecticides kill insects and pesticides kill pests. These are all some chemicals and have toxic substances which are extremely harmful to human beings and animals. When we use these toxins, what happens? These toxins deposited on leafy vegetables and fruits. When we consume these fruits and vegetables, what happens? The toxins enters into our body and cause so many disorders and sometimes leads to cancer. And these toxins cause soil, groundwater pollution even. To kill weeds, weedicides are applied. Weeds are unwanted plants to the community. So these weedicides, by killing weeds, deposited in the soil and that leads to soil pollution. All these chemicals at the time of rain, these chemicals dissolve in rainwater and flows into river. That leads to river water pollution, and due to seepage of these chemicals by water, that leads to groundwater pollution. In earlier days, our ancestors don't know about these chemicals. They completely follow organic farming, that is conventional farming practices. They used natural predation method. For natural predation method, best example, this is ladybird, small insect. This ladybird, he generally eat aphids. These aphids attack so many fruit, vegetable and flowering plants also you can see. Especially mandara plant commonly affected by these aphids. So in this way, by using harmless insects, we can kill the harmful insects. Ladybird never eat any plant. It won't attack the plant. That is why this is useful animal. So by using these useful insect, we can kill the useless harmful insects. And other example is dragonfly. This is dragonfly, you know all about this. And generally, this dragonfly eat mosquitoes. So by increasing the number of dragonflies also, we can reduce the mosquitoes. Even this dragonfly eat larvae from water. And next one, Bacillus thuringiensis. The short form is BT. This is one kind of bacteria. By using this Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria, we can control butterfly caterpillars. These Bacillus thuringiensis is available in the market in the form of dried spores. One kind of powder is available. In that powder, spores are present. That is available in small packets. So these spores we can dilute in the water and we can spray on affected plants. These spores are present on the leaves. So the caterpillars eat the leaves. Along with the leaf, Bacillus thuringiensis spores also enter into the mouth. In the gut region, the Bacillus thuringiensis spores releases toxins. So due to the activity of these toxins, what happens? Finally, caterpillar die. These Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria only kill the insects which are attacking the crop, but won't show any harm on other insects. In the next class, I will continue this lesson with microbes as biocontrol agents, microbes as biofertilizers, challenges posed by microbes. The 2 marks and 4 marks question and answers of this lesson English medium are in the description. If you like this video, please share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.